Hi everyone, this is Ant. This is version 0.04 alpha of my GLTF Mesh Optimizer tool that now it's been ported to Godot. So the file management and the GUI is now built in Godot, but it is using inherently the Mesh Optimizer GLTF pack tool. So all the limitations that were inherent in libgdx and all the extensions that it did not support are now supported. And that is huge. I'm going to talk more about the details of why it was needed to move to Godot and get off the libgdx platform. But in this portion of the video, I am talking about how to use this tool. And it's actually going to be quite quick because it's quite easy tool to use. So on launch, again, the Stanford Dragon is loaded. You could see the wireframe version if you want. There's a camera controller now. You could fully go anywhere you want with the camera, and you could stop the rotating, but I'll just keep it on. And there is the wireframe version, and now you could see all the different LODs. And you slide show LOD level, and if you turn off the wireframes, you could do it this way too. And let's just say you like what you see and you want to export all LODs as separate GLTF files, and you just click on export, right? You select where you want to go, and I'm just going to put it on my E drive here, and I'm going to select the current folder. It will actually copy over all the LODs and actually open up file manager, right? So I'm going to click, and there you go. That's how quick it is, and that's how easy it is. And as you can see, LOD 0 to LOD 7, they're in separate GLTF bin format. Eventually, maybe I'll just have an option so you export in GLB, but it's not. That's the easy stuff. The hard stuff has been done. And let's look at the time. 11:38. Yep. It was just generated right now. So as you can see, that's how easy it was. Some other things that are included, you could actually disable the camera help, but I think I enabled it by default because it will be new to everybody, how to use the camera. And you also could disable the statistics if you don't want to see the certificates. This video will be the link. So the latest how-to, it will always be on help, and click on the video and it will automatically go to this video or the latest version of this video. So that's basically it. So in terms of the versions, Windows and Linux are done, and I support Mac OS, right? But I haven't tested it yet, and that's why I haven't built it. Okay, so where to get this? It will be on itch. And you could download here. It's less than about 40 megabytes. And if you download the Linux version, sometimes when you unzip it, resets the executable bit on the executable. And if you just do change mod plus X and the name of the executable, you'll be able to execute and double click it or whatever. The other requirement is you need glibc version 2.38 as a minimum. This is not a minimum for my tool. It's a minimum for Mesh Optimizer tool and library for Mesh Optimizer, which means you need like Ubuntu 24. I had to upgrade my Linux version for the latest version, because this version just came out literally a few days, like last week. 0.23, which is higher than my original version in libgdx, which is 0.22, which was a custom version of libgdx, because the current version of lightweight Java graphics library is 3.3.3, which is basically Mesh Optimizer tool 0.18. Like, it's like years of behind. It's years behind. So anyways, that ends kind of like how to use the tool. Basically load, export, and that's basically it. And it automatically opens up the file manager of the exported output. Okay, so in this portion, we're going to go into why it was needed for me to migrate it to Godot from libgdx. Well, here's all the extensions that the Mesh Optimizer supports, and it's quite of a long list. Here's the list that GDX.GLTF supports. It's a very small list compared to Mesh Optimizer, and all the good juicy stuff that actually increases performance and size are not supported in GDX.GLTF, right? So here's in a nutshell. But more importantly, the main reason was, or the additional reasons is, the data flow of the libgdx was extremely cumbersome. It's slow. And the majority of the effort is just basically translating data structures between all the different layers and components, right? So to export a GLTF file, you first have to import it using GDX.GLTF. The import, it goes into libgdx framework, and then you have to make a JNI binding call to Mesh Optimizer. And this is the this portion here. It was extremely painful, right? And then on the result back, you have to translate the data structure back into libgdx and then export the file. This is not only really slow, it's hard to debug, and it's a lot of work. And and the value add for using libgdx, it's non-value add, because GDX.GLTF doesn't support all the limitations of the extensions. But the new Godot data flow is, you get the GLTF file input, you use the Mesh Optimizer tool, and then you get the output. There's no interaction with Godot or any engine and all that. There's nothing. Godot is only used for the GUI, the showing of the results of the files with all the extensions, enabled, and the file handling. That's basically it, right? So again, GDX.GLTF limitations. Everything in red is not supported by libgdx, right? And there's some really good stuff like mesh quantization, the compression, and a lot of the clear coat, glossiness, that sort of thing, and everything. So anyways, and there's also more important things that are more which I noticed recently is converting textures to KTX2 with basis use super compression. Godot supports this, and this is the reason why Godot stuff uses less VRAM in your graphics card than libgdx. I've done some tests now, and it's probably going to be another video. It's just libgdx uses 4 times more VRAM for the same exact models. It's just insane how much libgdx uses on that. And the reason why is the compressed version of the models and textures are not being stored in libgdx. They're the uncompressed version, right? So and people from libgdx say, no, we support compression. Well, it's very old compression, right? It's not the latest and greatest. It's 10 years old. It's actually more, probably. So anyways, but again, the main reason was I was just spending too much time, and it's limited in its functionality. So now I could use this tool to support all the features of Mesh Optimizer, which I basically have not incorporated here. Like, there should be more options now, and I'm going to add that in future versions, so that game engines or libraries or frameworks that actually support all this compression, like Babylon.js, like there's a lot of other frameworks that support Mesh Optimizer extensions, right? So, or the ones that the extensions that Mesh Optimizer support. So anyways, so that's basically it. Yeah, so every new version of this tool will be based on Godot, and that's basically it. So hopefully you found that useful, and take care.